Welcome to the EMH 9 o'clock news. We will soon have an exclusive interview with two men who just made history, Orville and Wilbur Wright. You may be an old schoolmate of Orville, or maybe you've passed Wilbur on the street. Most people have heard of these men. These men have made great history. Just 2 years ago, the Wrights created the Flyer, which is a flying device called a plane, meant to carry persons inside. Just yesterday, Wilbur took it up into the sky, and there it remained for over 5 minutes. Over to you, Erin.
Thank you, Hannah. This is a great accomplishment, Wilbur. How did you feel when you were first riding the Flyer?
I felt like I was literally on top of the world. It was great to be soaring. All the people, they all looked like tiny ants on an anthill, and I thought to myself, this is something that my brother and I accomplished together. We really did this. I hope someday people will be riding in these instead of in automobiles.
Orville?
I was so proud when I saw that plane go up, as I felt a tear catching my eye. I thought about how American history had taken a turn for the better. Every day our lives are changing and being renewed and improved. More is accomplished every day. I like to think I've done my part.
What led you to build the plane?
When we were children, one day our father came back with a toy helicopter that flew at the pull of a rubber band. We were fascinated. As we matured in years, we designed our own bicycles and owned a bicycle shop. But finally, we grew bored and decided to advance to something bigger and definitely better.
Was it difficult to build the plane?
We worked long days and we worked hard. Some days we wished we didn't have to, but then we remembered that we were on our way to success. It was good work overall. We would make conversation while we built, but often we would have to put it to a halt and verify we were constructing correctly.
So then, every time we called it a day, I stopped to think about how much we had accomplished out on the field. And I would look out my window and see that we were always one step closer to having our work completed. It was a wonderful feeling. Every day we worked hard, and finally we were done. We have completed the Flyer.
Sometimes I would want to give up. We went through a few bad airplanes, but Orville was right there to consult me. And sure enough, in the end, he'd been right all along. We had accomplished our dream.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have just spoken with Orville and Wilbur Wright, two significant legends. Now back to you, Hannah.
Thank you, Erin. It is said that their planes will be improved in order to fly for longer periods of time. Then perhaps they will be building planes for the use of the U.S. Army.
Orville and Wilbur Wright will potentially be famous for years yet to come. These two men have accomplished the unthinkable. Stay tuned for our next segment. We will talk about Teddy Roosevelt, a man running for the office of the U.S. presidency. We'll be back right after this. This is the EMH News at 9.
Stop! Stop catching diseases from publicly used ice cream dishes. Stop waiting around for your ice cream to be finished. Stop eating out of the same old boring dish. Presenting the waffle cone! Eat out of a delicious edible ice cream cone without getting the sick germs from other people. Then, when the ice cream is gone, you eat the cone itself. This is so good! So, the next time you're roaming the streets, stop by your nearby ice cream stand and try this new product. It's amazing!
Welcome back to the EMH News. Now, for the latest news on the presidential election. Former Vice President of McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, had decided to enter the race in hopes of a second term. Roosevelt won a convincing victory this November. After serving as president in place of assassinated McKinley, the young reformer is looking forward to continuing in the office.
This was a very intense election. We witnessed a somewhat strong showing by the Socialists, led by Eugene V. Debs. We also saw a notable presence by the Prohibition Party. The populace, however, seemed to be losing support and status.
We are looking forward to Roosevelt's inauguration this coming spring.
On a cultural note, a revolutionary music is quickly emerging. It's called jazz, and it sounds a little bit like this.
This new form of music originated in New Orleans. Louis Armstrong is becoming a well-known trumpet player of this new jazz music. This music seems to have the influence to allow it to remain in our culture for some period of time.
In sports news, Archie Hahn, a phenomenal sprinter, earned 3 gold medals in the 1904 Olympics. First, he won the 60-meter dash in 7 seconds. Then he won the 200 meters, leading the final from start to finish in 21.6 seconds. His concluding victory was the 100-meter final, and he defeated Nate Cartmell by about 2 meters. He was running into a strong wind. His time was 11 seconds. He was a small person for a sprinter, 1.65 meters tall, and only weighing about 59 kilograms. He earned the nickname the Milwaukee Meter. He turned 19 before he became serious about running. The first time he was recruited, he was 20, and it was 1900, and the University of Michigan sent representatives to him. They had seen him race in a country fair previously. This small legend won 3 gold medals in the Olympics this year.
And now, in international news, an update on the Russo-Japanese War.
In a statement released today by the State Department, the spokesman reminded us that it all began in 1898 between Russia and Japan over a dispute involving a strategic port. Tensions continued to build as both countries obtained alliances and expanded their armies. Last year, in 1903, Japan finally decided to attack when Russia failed to withdraw its troops from Manchuria.
As we all know, the war officially started on February 8th of this year, when the Japanese fleet launched a surprise attack on the Russian Navy stationed at Port Arthur. In the last few months, the Japanese landed their army in Korea and quickly overran that country. In May, the Japanese army gained control of the Liaotung Peninsula, which effectively cut off the main Russian army in Manchuria. Most recently, battles have been fought in Fushan and Liaoyang and resulted in Japanese victories. Now, however, the Russian army is on the offensive due to the arrival of reinforcements received via the Trans-Siberian Railroad.
Thank you for joining us at the EMH News at 9. Have a good night.